What's up, everybody? Nathan Larsen here, back at you with another video for those of you guys who make music at home. Whether you're a songwriter, a producer, an artist, if you write and record your own music at home, this is the channel for you. And if that sounds anything like you at all, you need to subscribe right there. And how many of you have the problem with never finishing your songs? This is a problem I hear so many producers struggle with, is they can never finish that song. Why is it that so many home producers have a hard time finishing their songs? In this video, I want you to watch it all the way through, because not only am I gonna talk about what the problem is, but I'm gonna tell you how to fix the problem so that you can be finishing more songs, because it's not just one thing. Okay, let's do it. Now, this is gonna be in no particular order as to these reasons why people struggle with finishing their songs. I'm just gonna go through it. One of the biggest reasons why so many home producers struggle with finishing is because they lack structure to their process. If you do not have a structure to your process of how you're going about actually producing in the first place, yeah, you're probably gonna get stuck. You're probably gonna get lost because you don't really have a quote unquote roadmap to follow. Now, my particular process for actually having structure is pretty simple. I want to focus on the quick wins. This is something I teach a lot through the Producer Accelerator. That link is down below. If you're focusing on the minute details, the minutia, instead of getting focused on the things that you know are going to get you very quick, fast success, fast wins. I know I want this. I know I want that. You need to be focusing on the things that you already know that you want to exist in that track. That is where I always start. So for me, in many cases, that's starting with a piano part that I know I can just quickly whip together a full arrangement using piano. And then from there, I can start actually building on top of that, rather than here's a little intro and then I'm gonna start trying to now produce everything within that intro, and then I'm now getting stuck in the details and I have no idea where I'm even going. Structure is so important, and I think so many producers don't understand how important it is to have structure when you're actually going through the process of producing a track. So some suggestions for ways that you can improve your structure and how you can actually kind of build your own roadmap, because everyone works differently. Just because I start with piano and then I build my whole arrangement with the piano does not mean that that's what you have to do. You know what works best for you. Are you a guitar player? Are you primarily a vocalist? Are you a pianist? Are you a bass player? What instrument do you feel most comfortable with? What element do you feel that you can start putting directly into your production to get you the fastest results first? I am always focused on the big picture before I ever start getting down into the minutia in the detail of the production. I want to have a very clear vision of where is it that I'm going from the very moment that this song starts all the way until the end. Do I know exactly how I'm going to build up tension? How am I going to release that tension? How am I going to dynamically approach this arrangement? Now, so much of this comes down to arrangement, and that is such an important part of the producing process, is actually being a really good arranger. And I think while so many people are focused on effects, plugins, compressors, EQs, reverbs, delays, all that stuff is like at the end of the process. Why are we watching 1,000 tutorials on this crap when you don't even know how to build an arrangement? And this is something that really frustrates me about the world of YouTube music production, and that's a whole other deal. I'm gonna have to make another video on that. But at the end of the day, you should be really focused on arrangement. Throughout the majority of the process, it really is about building an amazing arrangement and then finding sounds that are going to accomplish your overall vision of that arrangement in the actual track. If you're constantly thinking about where am I going throughout this? Do I want this to be a softer moment and then build into this moment, and then where am I going, and actually mapping out that whole thing, now you have a whole roadmap of the entire song. And whether you're starting with piano or guitar or bass or a synth instrument, it really doesn't matter at that point, because now you have somewhat of a big zoomed out picture of this is what I want this to sound like, and now we can start actually going about doing it. And even once I start doing it, I'm always focused on what things do I already know without a shot of a doubt that's gonna be there. Am I gonna do a kick there? What is that kick gonna sound like? Am I gonna do a snare, clap, snap, whatever it is? Am I gonna do strings there? Am I gonna do pianos there, synths there? I'm going to focus exclusively on the things that I already know, because if you're starting to get bogged down on, man, I don't know what should go there, I don't know. And you're getting stuck in this rut of I don't know, that just absolutely kills creativity, and it does not help you move forward. Now, what I found is, you've probably heard this saying, success breeds success. I think creativity breeds creativity. When you are working on things and getting the wins, getting those fast wins and having this creative moments where you're like, yes, that works. Yes, that works. Guess what? It will bleed over into the whole thing where now you feel like this is going great. This is awesome. And then when you start getting into the more detailed stuff that requires a little more brain power, you're already in a state of like, this sounds great. This is awesome. I really enjoy this. And then we can start actually making those decisions and actually making progress in finishing. Okay, so one of the other really big reasons that people don't finish songs is because they get way too concerned and worried about the specific sounds they're using, the sound design. They need it to be that perfect like sound. That has to be that perfect kick, that perfect snare, that perfect bass, that perfect everything. When my whole thought process is, why does it need to be perfect? I can always go back to that. I want to build an arrangement. I want to make progress. At the end of the day, a good mindset that a successful producer has is with the mindset and intent to finish. If you are not applying this concept of I have to finish, I have to make decisions that are actually moving the needle closer and closer to finishing, then you will pretty much never finish. It's just not going to happen. Whew! Bring in the heat today. Now, here's another really big reason why a lot of producers don't finish their songs. It's because they don't finish their songs. Now, hear me out. How many times have you started producing something when you don't even have a finished song? Like the song isn't even done being written. Like you've got like one chorus and you're like, this is cool. Let's just do it. Let's start building this whole thing. At the end of the day, a lot of times I will start producing during the songwriting process because that's sometimes just a really good flow to get into. However, really where the catch happens is that if I start feeling stuck at any moment, let's say I've got a verse and a chorus, and then I'm like, I'm feeling really kind of stuck here, I will immediately stop the producing phase and I will jump right back into hardcore songwriting phase and just really get focused on, I need to just finish this song. I need to finish some sort of a demo for this. I need to finish verse 2, the chorus, the bridge, the instrumental, whatever's going to happen after the moment that I already have. And I have to finish just writing the song and figuring out where I'm going. Because again, if you don't even have the song finished, how on earth are you supposed to have structure? Right? I mean, you could maybe have in the back of your mind, yeah, we're going to do a verse here, we'll do another chorus, we'll do another bridge, whatever. But at the end of the day, if you don't actually have that written, you don't actually know where it is you're going, you are inevitably going to find yourself in a situation where you are just unsure of what it is that you're doing in the first place. And a lot of times people will just abandon ship at that moment because they are focusing more on, I gotta find good sounds, I gotta produce this thing, I gotta build an arrangement when the song isn't even done. So my advice there is, if you are struggling with finishing your stuff, you need to make sure that you are actually working with completed songs that from beginning to end are completely drawn out. You know what the lyrics are, you know what the melody is, you know what the chord progression is. And from there, you need to start making decisions on the arrangement. We got another one here. We're not done yet. Another huge reason why producers don't finish their tracks is they take way too stinking long. Yes, you heard me right. Take way too long. Have you ever been working on something where it just completely comes together in a matter of hours when normally it might take you a week to do something? It is so easy to lose the creative edge when you are spending way too long on something. If you are spending a week on one song, one track, one production, you are inevitably going to become more dull creatively. Our brains can only focus so much creative energy on one task before our brain starts feeling tired and worn down. So if you're taking all these things that we've talked about so far, those things alone are going to help you to become faster at making decisions. This is where most amateur producers, beginner producers, producers that are really struggling, really have a hard time. They don't know how to make decisions quickly. And this is something that just straight up takes discipline and practice. If you're working on something, you have to make decisions and you have to make them quickly if you want to actually push this thing forward. This is something I struggled with so much at the beginning. I would re-record my piano, I would re-record my MIDI piano part like 1,000 times before I was like, yeah, like that's the good one or whatever. And then guess what? The 1,000th take of that really didn't sound a whole lot different than like the third take of it. So why on earth was I wasting all of this creative energy when I could have used that first, second, or third take of something instead? And I'm not saying that you should be sacrificing performance quality. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I could easily just go into my piano roll and edit that part instead of having to just completely redo it 1,000 times. And again, like I said, creativity breeds creativity. When you start making decisions quickly and when you get in this routine and this groove of I'm making decisions, I'm making actions that are actually pushing things forward, it becomes easier and easier and easier to do it. It's like a snowball going going down a mountain, and it really does help a ton. So if you're taking a week, 2, 3 weeks to work on something, that is way too long. For me, on average, it should only take me a couple days at the most for me to produce something beginning to end. And that's not even talking about me working on it all day. If I'm working on something all day, I expect to have something probably pretty darn close to done within a day. I'm not saying every single one of you is going to be at that level. I've been doing this for like 13 years. So for me, it's going to come together quite a bit faster. But I know for me and most of my colleagues that are also professional producers, we're making decisions very, very fast. And especially if you're working with an artist, then you've got to make decisions fast because you're on the clock. But for those of you home studio musicians, you're working on your own music, you have got to become more efficient with your time if you want to make sure that you're actually finishing stuff. So a really great way of helping you with this is to legitimately set a timer. I'm not even kidding you. Set a 1-hour timer and say, I have to get as much done in 1 hour as physically possible. And at that time, I'm taking a break. And then go take a break, go get a cup of coffee, go for a walk. Give your brain a little bit of a rest and then do it again. This is something that I have legitimately done myself because I started realizing years ago that I was just wasting way too much time and I knew I could make decisions faster than I had been making decisions. Now, real quick, I do want to let you know that if you would like to get a free session breakdown of one of my own tracks, I am giving that away for free for about the next month. It's actually a module from the Producer Accelerator course. It is the ultimate music production course on the internet. That is launching in about a month. But until that launches, I am giving that away for free. That link is down in the description below. And hey, if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment, like, that helps out a ton. Let me know which of these you've been struggling with the most. We'll see you in the next one.